It's beer! Hooray, beer! You guys remember the commercial? Please tell me you remember that commercial.
Yes, Ross.
Okay.
I was just letting you twist out there for a little bit.
Welcome to Dumb Drafts, the show where we believe that everything is worth drafting. And today we are joined by a celebrity judge because what happened was after the first episode, it got a roaring round of applause. It got plenty of plaudits on social media. But the one thing that we may or may not have come up a little bit short on was having a judge who was in tune with the topic. So instead, for today's episode, we have brought in the best beer writer in these United States of America and perhaps, arguably, the best beer writer in the entire world. And that is Joe Sixpack. Joe, thank you for joining Dumb Drafts Episode 2, The Summer Beers.
Glad you invited me, I think. And it looks like a fun afternoon here, so I'm ready.
Of course, you can find Joe. He co-hosts a show with Glenn Macnow over on NBC Sports Philly. And that show, of course, is What's Brewing PA. You can find that show right now. All the episodes available over on YouTube. They're off for the summer because, you know, the summer is the time where we should all sit back and try out all the brews. But I'm sure, Joe, you're roaring and ready to go for the next season.
We are. This is what we call our research season.
And now, can you explain to the people, because we laid out the rules for today's show. And we decided that after a bit of squawking from a few of these participants who we'll introduce here in a second, that we're not going to go summer seasonal specific. We're taking this from the perspective of beer can be summer beer. It doesn't have to just be a summer seasonal. It could be any beer. What are your thoughts on summer seasonal beers? And are there really limits on what should be considered a summer beer?
That's a great question. The way beer is today, we've got dozens upon dozens of specific styles of beer, some of which are considered to be summertime beers, things like wheat beers, Pilsner perhaps, lager beers. And they often are grouped in summer beers because they're easy drinking and they're light-bodied, and most importantly of all, they're refreshing. But you could say refreshing is a description that you'd use on many types of beers. So to me, you could almost call anything, except for maybe like a bourbon barrel heavy dark stout, you could call almost anything a summer beer.
All right, let me introduce the contestants for today's show, the combatants. Of course, we have Big Bet Bob himself, Bob Wankel. Bob, how you doing?
I'm all right. And as somebody that covers the Phillies, I think this is an important episode for Phillies fans because it's going to be a long summer, and I think you're going to need a lot of beer to get through it.
That's right.
Of course, next up we have the machine himself, the man who showed up late to the episode, Kevin Kincaid.
Yeah, listen, if Joe's doing his research season and he needs a guinea pig or somebody to participate, I'll volunteer my services.
We have a man who arguably was robbed in the last episode, and that's Tim Riley.
Hey, boys. I did just want to let you know I did work 7 years at a beer distributor. Although our buy-selling items were like Miller Lite, Twisted Tea Light, so Genesee Cream Ale.
Violation.
So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how good I do today.
The people who are watching this on YouTube right now on the Crossing Broad channel, I just want to ask you really quick, Tim, are you doing a headstand? Is that a baseboard heating unit over top of you or underneath you?
I think it's a defunct. It's like a defunct air conditioner unit. Like it doesn't actually work, but yeah.
Next to the show, we have our judge from last episode, video guy Craig Dudek. Craig, how are you?
I'm looking to redeem myself after last week's performance. Hopefully I fare better as a participant than a judge.
And finally, we have Phil Keidel. Not hard to spell. It's Phil Keidel. Keidel. Phil, how are you?
I'm good. Just to clarify, Tim looks like he's being held hostage. So if he could at some point just let us know that it's safe during the draft, I'd appreciate it. Additionally, I've never worked in a beer distributor, but I've been drinking beer much, much longer than 7 years. So I'm looking forward to this.
Phil, thanks for checking in from your 55 and older community. We'll try to keep the noise down. All right, buddy? And I already told everybody Michelob Ultra is yours for the taking. I mean, we all know you drink it. Just draft it first and let's get it over with.
This will be fun.
Well, We're gonna do what we did last time. Although this time it's not gonna be rigged, or at least that's what Kincaid wanted everybody to think. So we're gonna go to the big wheel, and we're going to decide the order for today's draft. We'll do a snake draft like we did last week. First up, the person getting the first pick in the draft is Craig. Craig, congratulations. That's a big moment for you. All right. Second in today's draft is none other than Tim. Tim,
All right.
congratulations. Number 2 pick in the draft. The middleman, Phil Keidel. We're building a Phil sandwich. And this final spin will determine who goes last and next to last. Kevin is number 4, which means that Bob finishes as the final pick in this draft. We don't have to spin the wheel again, but we will just for fun, just so you can see his name pop up. Of course, this is going to be an interesting thing, I think, for Bob, because Bob now, by virtue of being in the snake draft, is going to not only have the 5th pick, but also the 6th pick as well. So that's big, and we saw that in the first episode. So without further ado, let's get into the first round. All right, let's go.
You are on the clock.
So I'm going to go with an oldie but a goodie, a true summer classic, Alegash White.
Wow. Okay.
Alegash
Good
White.
start today.
Okay. Rationale behind the pick.
It's not summer until you have one. It is the classic beer of summer.
Okay. Second pick.
Alegash White. Interesting. I remember there was one bar we delivered to that would get Alegash White. It was Three Monkeys. And it was like $46 a case. Definitely the kind of beer that a guy like Craig would drink.
I think Craig killed that pick. I really do. Murdered it.
Yeah, no, it's a good beer. See, for me, I like when I go places to try like craft beers and stuff. It's like the only way you can actually support small business in this country anymore. So I'm going to go with a place that I really like, the Shandy Creek Brewing Company. They have this beer called The Shape of Hops to Come, which I've been really jamming on. I love that beer. That's going to be my first pick. Shandy Creek Brewing Company.
Wow,
The Shape of Hops to Come.
Shape of Hops to Come. Okay.
Great pick. I had it last night.
Yeah,
Ooh, Joe Sixpack already weighing in with some kudos. Had nothing to say about the Alegash White, but here we are. Okay.
It's a little bit of a reach in the first round, but it's a great pick.
Listen, there are no reaching. This is all subjective, my man. All subjective.
Can I just say I'm glad we have a judge who actually knows what they're talking about? I mean, like the first time we did this, we were drafting like Mark Howard and Larry Kane, and Craig is what, like 19 years old. He probably wasn't even alive when they were on TV the last time. I'm sorry, I digress.
Let's go. Phil, 3rd overall pick in the draft. You take.
So they call it dumb drafts, and this one is an absolute no-brainer for me, not only because I love the product, but because I know the brewer. I actually attended Tom Kehoe's wedding many a moon ago, and he's a good man. Yards is a wonderful brewery. There are many Yards brews that I would pick from, but since this is a summertime episode, I'm going to pick Philadelphia Pale Ale as my round draft pick. Yards Philly Pale.
I do want to point something out really quickly because I didn't establish this in the very beginning, but it is okay to do a repeat of brewery. So if somebody does want to go back, if Phil wants to go back and take a second Yards beer at some point in this draft, he's free to. Tim obviously can do the same with Shandy Creek. So just so that we're all clear there. All right, let's go to the 4th pick in the draft. That would, of course, be Kevin Kincaid.
Yeah, okay. With the 4th pick in the 2021 Dumb Drafts of Summer Beers, I'm going to select Linokugel's Summer Shandy.
Okay. Let's go to Bob for the 5th pick in the draft. Bob.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit of a different way here. Go with a little bit of a tart beer. We're going to go with Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale. Get a little bit of the salt in it. Easy to drink, very refreshing. I think that's a solid pick at number 5.
Well done.
I'm going to chime in with a real quick anecdote about Sea Quench. Sea Quench is not a good thing to drink on your way to a Billy Joel concert. You should not drink a 6-pack of those before going in, because when you get to the 5th one, you just might have the stupid idea to try to shove one into a bush outside of Citizens Bank Park for after the concert. There are thorns on those bushes, which I learned after the Billy Joel concert. I got on the septic train, and people thought I was involved in a murder. It wasn't great, blood dripping down, but the sequence ale did in fact numb the pain. All right, so Bob, by virtue of the snake draft, that also then means that you have the 6th overall pick in this draft, and you select what?
Yeah, honestly, I've been watching a lot of Eagles drafts for years, right? And what's Howie Roseman always do? He always passes up the obvious pick, and it drives you nuts. So here we are. We're sitting here with the 6th pick now. I got to take Corona, man. Like, you got to go Corona here.
Corona.
It's the summer beer. It's not like a great beer. It's not a craft beer, but you can have 30 of them. Nothing signifies summer to me like Corona. You can't pass it up here.
Some
like
people
the
would argue
pick.
nothing defines the world quite like Corona, but that's another story for another podcast.
I like
All
the
right,
pick. See, this is Bob. This is Bob channeling 2021 Howie Roseman and finally drafting an Alabama player.
That's right.
Two Alabama players back to back, right? You could have reached for an undersized edge rusher right there, but you went for Corona, which is good.
All right,
Oh,
so
I'm
Kevin,
back on the clock.
we come back around to you for the
Anytime.
second pick in the second round.
Yes, with this selection, I'm going to go with this is my wife's favorite beer for like a whole summer. I think she drank nothing but this for like a 4-month stretch. It's a 21st Amendment Hell or High Watermelon.
Bob and Kevin are just crushing the beers I was going to pick.
You're gonna have
Are you
some
serious?
of that draft.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a real draft, right? We come to this event with our picks and the things we like. There's some commonality, and you're gonna have to think on your feet. God forbid. Yes, you're gonna have to erase some picks from your list and move forward.
Craig would fit right in the Eagles front office. They picked our guys 2 picks before, so we had to settle for JJ Ortega-Whiteside.
Yeah, Danny
Oh,
Watkins
nice
is
use of the
still
beta
available.
on that one. Very well done, Tim. You fit well in Castilla, you know? Good on you. All right, Phil, go ahead. Third pick of the second round.
In the vein of drafting the player you want, regardless of where you think they should fall in the draft, I'm not leaving this draft without Cape May Brewing's Coastal Evacuation.
Oh,
An
very good.
IPA in the summertime that makes me very happy, especially when the Phillies are down 14-3 in the 5th.
That's right.
All right, Tim, let's go to you. 4th pick of the second round. You draft.
I like this beer a lot this summer. It's a beer that I found like just a year ago. Kona Big Wave.
Okay.
You only just found that?
Mahalo. Yeah, I just, too many tea lights, I think.
All right, so Craig, we're gonna go to you with the final pick of the second round. Don't go back to back yet. Just take the 10th overall pick in the draft, and we're gonna do a quick reflection on that. Go ahead.
I am shocked to see this one fall this far. It has summer in its name. It's an oldie but a goodie as well. Sam Summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was on the board. It was a 3rd round grade for me.
Ooh.
Oh. All right, so I want to go to our professional here, Joe. Reflecting back, I don't know if you're keeping track. I could read these back off to you.
I actually have my list right here. So
Right.
Based on what you've seen so far, we didn't really reflect on the top 5, but we had Alegash White, Shape of Hops to Come, Philadelphia Pale Ale, Summer Shandy, Sequence Ale. How do you feel about that first round? Do you feel like anybody had a decisive edge? Did anybody really reach in the first round?
well, I think that Tim's pick was a bit of a reach because it's a little heavy duty for a summer beer. But like I said, I just had it last night, so it rang a bell for me. I got to tell you, Kevin's pick, the Shandy in the first round, that to me is just an obvious pick and one that seems disappointing for people who believe themselves to be really good beer drinkers. Shandy to me, it's not real beer. It's also owned by Miller Brewing, so you get minus points on that too.
I'm officially in protest. I just want to know that I'm in protest of
You did redeem yourself with your second pick, however.
The way you
so let's
set
talk-
that up was just incredible.
Wasn't
I
even
know.
a
I was
backhanded
like up.
compliment.
I was up here, and then I came crashing down.
That was glorious. Glorious.
So the second round, any standouts there in the second round? Something that you thought could have been potentially a first round pick That's
Well, I did actually think Corona was going to go in the first round. It's not. It's like the opposite of my favorite beer. It doesn't have any taste other than the lime you stick in the neck. But it is probably the ultimate summer beer out there. Best commercials in beer, I think. So you're going to be forgiven on that pick, I think. And I gotta say, Phil's got a solid pair of hoppy beers in there too. So. And Phil, I was at Tom's wedding too. It was at the
primate house at the zoo.
At the Philadelphia Zoo, exactly.
Yeah, it was a great night. I went to law school with his wife, which is how I went.
Linda is a great person. So
I would like to point out that is the first time that anyone has ever said that Phil has a strong pair. Ask his wife. All right, third round. Third round. Here we go. So Craig, you are the first pick of the third round.
So with the third round first pick, I'm going to go with my all-time favorite beer. I feel like it fell because it was absent for a few years and is now a brewhouse exclusive. I'm going with Dogfish Head's Festina Pesce.
Oh.
Yeah.
Once Sequench went off the board, I knew I had to move on this one.
You just got me back, Craig.
Ooh. So that was going to be, Bob, did you have a third round grade on that? Where was that going to go?
That was coming in one of the next two picks. That was in my my wraparound there somewhere.
Glad I made the move then. I was nervous.
All right, so let's go then to Tim for the second pick of the third round.
So I'm going to just keep trying to hammer the local breweries that I'm aware of. And I like this beer. I'm not like a beer like sommelier type guy who, beer drinkers have gotten a little bit snooty in the last 10 years. I'm not one of those people. I do like this beer though. I found it in a variety pack. It's called Trogues Field Study. It's good. I like it a lot. So I'm going to draft that.
That was Trogues. What was it called?
It's called Field Study.
Field
It's an
Study.
IPA.
The reach. It's a total reach.
I mean,
Wow.
what does that even
Anchor on
mean?
the top row.
What does that even mean? It's a reach.
I think people are trying to prove how how many beers they've heard of. Oh, this is so random. This is my favorite beer.
Nah,
Figures
My
that
wife
the-
just
I know more
Marcus.
beers than you do.
no.
my wife just brought me a beer. If anybody selects this one, you might get a fake bonus point. Just going to put that out there. Bob knows as a former teacher as well. Fake bonus points, they go a long way.
That's
It's
what
all
it's
about
all
the
about.
facade. All right, so let's go to Phil in the third round, third pick. Phil.
Well, I just want to comment very quickly. It figures the Ivy Leaguer is the one that picks the beer called Field Study. I'm not a studying type. Like, that's not my thing. In the third round, and I'm very happy that it's still there. Frankly, this draft is falling exactly the way I would have hoped. It's called Dumb Drafts for a reason because they put summer in the name of this beer and it's still sitting there. Victory Summer Love is my third round pick. It's a lock. At the third round, sitting in Citizens Bank Park, watching the Phillies hopefully win a game for once. It's usually on tap there, and it is wonderful. And that is my third round pick.
Kevin, did I hear a
Bastard.
little upset nature there? Was that going to be your pick here in the third round?
Yeah, I had talked about it with Tom Donahoe. We were thinking about going with Summer Love in round 2, and I tried to give him a pound, but he turned away from me.
All right, Kevin, fourth pick, third round, go.
Well, I guess I got to go further down the board then. We'll stay local. I'm going to go with the place that was right up the street from me when I was in Fishtown. We're going to go to Evil Genius with their I Love Lamp Pineapple Hefeweizen.
Oh, and I get called out for being snooty. Come on now.
That's snooty? Evil
Yeah.
Genius is snooty? I think people would say
You
the
lived
opposite.
in
now.
Fishtown, for
I think
Christ's
people-
sakes.
Oh, Fishtown is not what people. All the hipsters moved out of Fishtown like 10 years ago, and they
Yeah,
went to
with
East
you.
Passaic.
We swept people like you out.
People like it. What do you mean, you people?
You people. You're
Yeah.
gone.
Kevin, the gentrification meister. All right, Bob,
All right, I'm actually
final
going to
pick
come
of the
with
third round.
I'm coming with one of my favorite beers in general. I'm going to go the IPA route here. We're going to go Lawson's Finest Liquids Sip of Sunshine, which is just one of the flat out best beers I've probably had in the last couple of years. Craig knows it. He sees it. I can see it on his face.
That was my next pick.
Great pick by me.
All right, hold, Bob.
All right.
Before you go to your next one, Joe, reflections on the third round.
Well, I got to say that last pick might have redeemed Bob's first two, or at least that Corona pick, because that's a great beer. I'm surprised you guys know about it because for the longest time it was like the ultimate beer that it was a cult beer you could only get up in New England, but now that they've widened their distribution so you can see it in a lot of places. But yeah, Victory Summer Love, that to me was an obvious pick. I really thought that was going to go in the first round, especially, it has a sports theme on the label. I mean, come on, guys. It's like it was a no-brainer. I'm really surprised it was there in the third round.
I think Kona's better.
This kind of feels like when your dad tells you he's disappointed, or your coach or your mentor tells you he's disappointed. Like he's not even berating you guys. He's not flaming you. He's just
I'll tell you what it feels like to me,
Phil's feeling pretty good. You can tell.
Yeah, it feels like I got dealt 3 aces in a poker hand. That's what it feels like for me so far.
All right, let's go. Bob, first pick of the 4th round. Remember, guys, you're down to your final 2 picks. We're down to our final 10 beers. 15 have been taken off the board. Bob, what is your first pick of the 4th round?
I'm coming back with Fleur de Houblon from Omegang, heading up to New York again. A little bit of like a floral type deal, solid beer. Had this at a wedding. It was about 97 degrees with 100% humidity. Had about 5 of them, so played well in the summertime, and I'm coming to that one, man.
Okay. Let's go to Kevin.
All right, listen. I see it like a theme, like a trend unfolding here. I think some people are picking some hoppy stuff, some IPA stuff, because I think that they are afraid that they don't want to get labeled or typecasted into drafting what we would say are quote unquote girly beers, right? But the bottom line is that it's summer beers, right? So it's hot out. I'm chilling on the beach. I'm on the boardwalk, right? Or I'm just trying to like drink something light and refreshing. I don't need 8.5% and a bunch of hops, right? So say whatever you want, but I'm going to go with a Radler in the 4th round. And I'm going to take Chauffeur Hofer, however the hell you say it, the grapefruit Radler.
You can't even pronounce it.
Dude, I thought you were drafting Bud Light Lime. I really did.
No. We'll put this out there on Twitter and we'll see how the masses feel about it.
So just to be clear, Kevin, can you say that beer again?
No.
I want you to try. Or
the German speaker here is going to ask me to say it again.
Yeah, so we have one person draft a German beer, another guy pulled out some French shit, and I'm the hoity-toity pretentious guy. Ivy Leaguer, give me a break.
Well, the German one is technically like 2% alcohol. So.
All right, Phil, we go to you. Can you keep the perfect game going?
Can we even count Kevin's pick if he can't pronounce the beer that he chose? Like, I'm not, as I sit here, I'm not even sure if the beer I would want to take is still on the board because he absolutely murdered that pronunciation. It was terrible.
Oh, you don't have to worry about pronouncing it. You just got to be able to drink it, I think. That's the only thing.
Okay. So, like, can you describe the can or the bottle that it's in? Can you help me out a little bit? Like, what?
It's orange. They serve it at the at Frankfurt Hall. It's the 2% grapefruit one. Chauffeur, whatever the hell it's called.
Chauffeur Hofer.
Thank you.
Chauffeur. Yeah, there we go.
Well,
all right,
I said it right.
Don't underrate the value of the umlaut over your O's, guys. Come on now. All right, Phil?
Not picking a Radler, but it is time after all the hops and ales that I've chosen to pick something with a little bit of a fruit flavor for the summertime. And one of my oldest and best favorites in summertime is Magic Hat number 9. And I will take that in the 4th round.
I'm stunned by some of the beers that are still left on the board. Joe, are you as shocked as I am? Like there are at least 4 that I can't believe have fallen this far.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we've only picked maybe 1 lager out of the whole bunch, which is amazing.
Wild stuff.
Yeah.
I do have a couple lagers, but
let's go to the former beer distributor master extraordinaire.
I feel wounded. All this Ivy League stuff. I mean, I spent most of my life in Mayfair, Northeast Philadelphia. 7 years toiling at Mayfair Beverage after I got that Ivy League degree. On a forklift at 6 a.m., Wrigley Beverage coming in with 8 pallets of Twisted Tea Light, which is my 4th round selection because I am a Mayfair boy at heart. And we drank tons of it here. And there was a shortage of it or something last year. They almost had to call the National Guard. I mean, people were outraged. And I know I'm not winning this thing, but I'm going to stay true to my roots, and I'm drafting Twisted Tea Light in the 4th round.
True to your
You're
roots.
damn right.
Somebody get Roundup and kill this weed. What the? You really Twisted Tea Light? All right.
Damn,
Wow.
yeah,
Tim,
Russ.
Tim, are you
Twisted Tea
gonna
Light.
even gonna show up to the 5th
Russ,
round? Or do you want to just log
I'm
on?
telling you, Russ, you go to the Patty Wax cold box right now. You will find 15 cases of it. Yeah, any of their locations, anywhere, any bar in Philadelphia in Northeast Philadelphia is gonna have more of that than any of these other beers that you've listed so far. I'm telling you.
That's because everybody buys the good stuff first, and that's all that's left. All right, let's go. Let's go to Craig. Craig, you have the final pick of the 4th round. This is your last time of going back to back.
So this one is a summer tradition for me. It's a sessionable beer, so you can have 15 of them, and they come in 15 packs. So once a summer, I try and kill a case in a sitting. I'm going with All Day IPA.
Oh man, it's like the last thing I'm interested in drinking.
All right, so that ends our 4th round. Joe, your thoughts here in the 4th round. Should we? Let's be honest. Should we allow Tim to continue after taking?
No, I think that was legit. But actually, with Twisted Tea, Magic Hat number 9, and the Rattler, it reminded me of like the 8th round in my fantasy football league draft when they start picking kickers. You really don't. You need them, but everybody's wants the same guy. But that I don't know. I think I would have passed on all 3 of those beers. But if it's your taste, I guess it's okay. I did like that Founders All Day pick, though, by the way, because 15 packs. You stuff those with ice. You can take them right down the beach. It's great.
Hey, listen, man. Everybody needs a Sebastian Janikowski out there. So he used to be able to hit from 60 yards. Yeah.
We're at our final round here. Before we go to Joe to decide who the top 2 drafts were, Craig, your final pick, the first round or the first pick of the 5th round, your final pick, you take.
I thought Joe was going to start a run on this when he mentioned lagers. I'm happy to see all of my lagers fall to me. I am going to go with Flying Dog Numero Uno, the Mexican lager.
Oh man,
Good one.
Craig, repeat that one more time.
Numero Uno Mexican Lager by Flying Dog. Just delightful on a hot summer day.
All right, let's go then. Tim, will you have a sleeper pick here in the 5th round? Will you repeat what I did last draft by following up Hurricane Schwartz with Yuki Washington? Is this your moment where you take a better pick in a later round?
Russ, the Northeast Hive, when they chime in on Twitter, will redeem that pick. You guys are all wrong. But see, I was in the business.
God, you were in the business. Phil was at somebody's wedding. I mean, do we have to hear any more name dropping?
You pulled out an Emmy last episode.
Well, I had to defend myself. I mean, that was a necessity. Yeah.
That's true.
The regional.
I
there it is.
I draft a niche beer. I get called a pretentious Ivy Leaguer. I draft something for the people. They want me out of the draft. I don't know. I don't think I can win. Danny Green is really upset with all of you right now. But I'm going to take.
That's a really elaborate bottle opener you brought here with the regional Emmy.
Yeah, you could open your summer beer with this guy right here.
That's shocking.
All right, Tim, go ahead.
I'm going to draft a Yards beer because I like Yards too. Bill took PPA. I guess I'll settle for Loyal Lager, which I like quite a bit.
Okay. Phil, you've had a strong draft so far. At least that's what it seems. Your final pick here. Don't blow it.
Final pick. I just want to note that it's extremely on brand for the Ivy League educated guy to try and spin fair and honest criticism into some sort of pity party. I mean, it's completely on brand.
No, you guys are just illogical. You're just illogical with your criticisms, and I'm up here and you're down here, and I just have to figure out a way to just get on your level. It's difficult for me.
Well, maybe next time we'll draft French wines, and you'll have a better chance to.
Yeah.
Finishing off my draft, I feel like we're going to take a safe pick. We're going to take a lager. We're going to take something people recognize, something that makes them happy, something that everybody can more or less agree upon. We're going to take Red Stripe Lager.
Red Stripe.
Great nation of Jamaica.
It's beer! Hooray, beer! Do you guys remember the commercial? Please tell me you remember that commercial.
Yes, Russ.
Okay.
I was just letting you twist out there for a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, your final pick.
Tim, just so you feel more included next time, we'll do a dumb drafts of like cross streets in Mayfair or something, right? I'll give you like Tyson Avenue and Hawthorne Street. You know, I would draft
That's
that
not
one.
far from where I live.
Yeah. How about Frankfurt and Harbison? That's another good one, right?
If we want to do a really short episode, we could do great St. Joe's prep athletes.
All right, listen, I feel like I've already lost in Joe's eyes. I feel like I'm like way behind here. I'm having like a Mike Mayock and John Gruden Raiders kind of draft here. At least in the eyes of the committee. So we're going to keep it local, and I'll go with something very easy and very standard. I'm going to go with Victory Prima Pills for my last one.
Okay. And now we get to the Mr. Irrelevant pick. We've got pick number 25, the final pick of the 5th round before we go to our judge. Bob, your final pick to a relatively, I think, strong lineup.
So, you guys are doing your whole Philly thing with your St. Joe's preps and cross streets with Mayfair. Like Craig, I'm a South Jersey guy, so I have no idea what the hell any of you guys are talking about. So I gotta go keep it in South Jersey here. So I'm gonna go over to Flying Fish, and I'm going Farmhouse Golden Ale.
Oh man, South Jersey. Go Stangs.
That's right.
I'm at a loss right now. Wow. Okay. Guys, let's do this. Let's go through for the listeners, and we can have Craig edit this into the video. This will add plenty for him to have to do. Craig, you had the first pick in the draft. Read off for the people what your 5 picks were one more time.
So in order, I believe I went Alegash White, Sam Summer, Festina Pesce by Dogfish Head, Founders All Day IPA, and Flying Dog Numero Uno Mexican Lager.
All right, second pick in the draft went to Tim. Tim, what did you do with your picks?
So I took Chamonix Creek Brewing, Shape of Hops to Come, followed that up with Kona Big Wave, and Trogs Field Study, then the much maligned Twisted Tea Light, and then finally Yards Loyal Lager.
All right, third pick was Phil. Phil, you chose.
My picks in order were Yards Philadelphia Pale Ale, Cape May Brewing Coastal Evacuation Double IPA, Victory Summer Love, Magic Hat number 9, and Red Stripe.
Kevin, your selections were.
Yeah, we went with Summer Shandy in round 1, Hell or High Watermelon, Evil Genius, I Can't Even, Chauffeur Hofer, and Prima Pills.
And then the final, Bob, your 5 again were.
So I went Dogfish Head, Sea Quench, Corona, Lawson's Finest Liquid, Sip of Sunshine. 4 was Omegang, Fleur de Houblon, and 5 was Flying Fish Farmhouse.
All right, so I'm going to give Joe a second there to come up with his official rankings 1 through 5. Obviously, we're going to push the top 2 along. Guys, I have to be honest. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I can't believe the fact that this beer got left out, because this is by far a superior beer to Corona, but it's of the same ilk. I don't know how everybody missed Taking Tan Limes by Cape May Brewing Company. I have no clue. I would argue, I guess, that Sierra Nevada's change to Otra Vase was not as good as the original one that had the cactus and grapefruit. But man, I can't believe you guys missed this. The Bog was out there, Grove City was out there, Crushing It was out there. You could have gone with their hard lemonade. I mean, I'm pretty much just saying I would have gone with a full Cape May Brewing Company lineup probably had it been me. But I cannot believe the Tan Limes didn't get drafted. Joe, do you agree with any of those omissions?
Well, I think we had a pretty good representation from Cape May, so I wouldn't really fault anybody on missing something like tan lines, because frankly, it's not really that widely distributed in at least in my area in Philly. But when I look at the beers that were picked, I see an awful lot of. I think everybody picked at least one fruit-based, or not based, but fruit-flavored beer, which actually surprises me, because for the first 10 years I wrote about beer, that every time I ever mentioned fruit beer, people would always diss it as chick beer, and I don't think it is that way anymore, especially some of the ones that are sour or tart, like that Dogfish Head Sea Quench. I guess it's maybe we're seeing the light when it comes to fruit and beer these days, which is a good thing.
Ross, to your point real quick. So, I like tan limes. I have some down here right now, but it's like, is tan limes a better beer than Corona? Of course it is. And this is I think what we ran into while we're doing this draft. That there's a better beer out there than that, but when you've got something that's that popular, that sits in that time period, how do you pass that up? And that's what I came back to.
You can also play that game
with Twisted
Tea. How did you miss this? How did you miss that? I mean, it's dumb drafts. It is what it is. It's objective. It's fun.
All right, so Joe, I'm going to go to you because you are, of course, our seasoned professional, the man who writes about beer better than anyone else, the man who got NBC Sports Philadelphia to add probably their best show, and has nothing really to do with sports. It's all about beer. I'm here for it. Joe, who would you say had the middle of the pack draft, just missed out? I want the number 3 draft, the person who was the bubble team that did not make it into your final 2.
All right, that's a great way to do this, because I really don't want to disappoint the loser, right up front here. So I would say for me, the one on the bubble was Craig. He had the first round pick, and Alegash White to me was just too obvious of a pick. If I looked at his refrigerator and saw Alegash, Sam Adams, and Founders in there, I would think I was just in your basic crappy deli that thought that was all there was to craft beer. So there was no reach there. He had the first pick. He couldn't pick somebody that was an all-star. Instead, he went safe with it.
Wow.
Your ability to butter this guy, to butter people up and then just give them a swift kick to the nuts is just unparalleled.
I thought he was picking Craig as the winner. I actually thought that was his winner.
Wow. I think Joe could do he would be really good on an American Idol, or what's the show with the chefs where they tell them that their dish was terrible. He could do a Top Chef,
I was gonna say a Master Chef. Yeah, Top Chef.
You could do a Gordon Ramsay. You could put the 2 pieces of bread on the guy's head and call him an idiot sandwich.
Joe, who had the next to last draft? The person who you might have gone for had it not been for the disaster of the final draft. Who was number 4?
I would say, and this could have gone in there as a possible final, but the number 4 draft, this is the 4th, the second to the worst we're saying here, right? The 4th draft pick would be Tim. That Twisted Tea completely blew your draft apart. Sorry. You had it go in there with that first pick. I was even willing to excuse Kona, which is an Anheuser-Busch product, as your second pick, but and the field study, nice pick there. But man, Twisted Tea just invalidated 3 picks right in a row there.
Joe, I was going down with my neighborhood. It was either going to be that or Rolling Rock. So, I was
banned. All right, so Joe, I guess the only right thing to do now, do we reveal the worst? I guess we have to, right? Because it's pretty clear. I think it's probably pretty clear.
It should be.
Who had the worst of the dumb draft? Who had the dumbest draft?
Far and away, even though he tried to redeem himself with his last pick, I think Kevin completely fell apart on this with the Shandy. He had a lemon flavored beer, a watermelon flavored beer, a grapefruit flavored beer, and then another grapefruit flavored beer. So, and then he comes up with Prima Pils, which is, that's sort of old school when it comes to craft beer locally anymore. So I don't think it really showed the kind of, excellence in draft picking that I thought we had here on this panel.
Wow. Wow.
Am I
Kevin,
allowed to? Can I respond to that?
Kevin, I'll come drink with you.
You can approach the bench, I guess.
I'm putting it all out there. I'm pushing my chips to the center of the table. Anybody wants in, get in. Anybody who wants out, get out. This team is going to the playoffs.
That's incredible.
All right, so Joe, I guess that means without further ado, let's go to your number two draft, and then you can be effusive in your praise at the top, of course. But who came up as the number 2 draft? Of course, for those who are not keeping track at home, Phil and Bob are the only 2 remaining.
Right, and this is a really close one. It's almost a coin flip, frankly, because they're both really good picks. Phil had 3 excellent first picks. You know, I can respect number 9 a little bit, maybe, even though it's pretty much passe. And Red Stripe is another solid pick as well. So Phil had a great one going there. But I got to tell you, I think I'm going to go with Bob on this because even though he had Corona in there, I mean, it's hard to avoid, as I said, Corona as a summer beer. And then he nailed it with Lawson's finest Sip of Sunshine, that Omegang Florida Houblon, which is an amazing beer, and what a reach, too. I can't believe that he came up with that one. And then finally finishing it off with that Summer Golden Ale from Flying Fish. Really, really strong, basically from top to bottom, I think.
Joe, I just want to let you know, over the last 365 days, actually, let's go back before COVID. So what are we looking at here, like 15 months or so? I've probably drank at least 2 craft beers in all but 5 of those days. So somebody that's probably going to die a very, very premature death. This was a big win for me and a great honor, frankly, a great honor.
Phil, do you have any rebuttal about not being It felt like you were being teased here, if I'm being honest. It felt like you were being kind of led on as the victor, but you came up second here. How are you feeling about not finishing with the top spot?
Well, sometimes the coin gives you Michael Jordan, and sometimes the coin gives you Sam Bowie. It's okay. It was an honor to be in this competition. It was certainly an honor to come as close to beating such a great competitor as Bob Wankel. And all this means is in the future, I'll do my research, I'll work a little harder, and I'll be that much better.
Joe, we want to thank you one more time for being here, for serving as our celebrity judge. Listen, we kept it to summer specific with the thought that perhaps in another season, we can always branch out on the brews. So we hope to have you back at some point. But thank you for being here today.
A lot of fun. Thanks for having me, guys. And I wouldn't throw any of those beers out of my fridge anyway.
There you go. See, that's all you need to know.
Might be the nicest thing he said to our competitors this entire time. Don't forget, you can go over to YouTube. You can check out What's Brewing PA. Of course, we'll be making a return soon to NBC Sports Philadelphia. A big thank you to Joe. Of course, you can find our show, Dumb Drafts, on Twitter at Dumb Drafts. You can send us an email, dumbdrafts@gmail.com. Guys, let the people know where they can find you on Twitter if they want to excoriate your picks or if they want to heap some praise on. Let's start with our winner, Big Bet Bob.
Heap some praise on? Like I'm praising one of the other contestants?
No, Bob, stop looking at your phone. I said if the people at home want to throw some praise on you, where can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, God, yeah. You definitely want to follow that. That's a great time. It's at Bob Wankel CB. Make sure you check in for this wonderful second half of the Phillies season, which will be coming forth soon. I smell a playoff run coming.
It's nice to hear some positivity from somebody who covers one of the teams because, of course, Kincaid over there hates his life. Let's go to Phil. Phil, the second place. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to do the whole spelling my name thing. No, it's at Phil Keidel, Keidel on Twitter.
Not hard to spell. It's Phil Keidel. Let's go to number 3 in this draft, Craig.
I'm a big-time tweeter. My last tweet was 2 months ago. So big value here. Craig the Dudek.
There we go. Let's go to our 4th place finisher. I can't believe it was 4th, but Tim.
Russ, that word is excoriate you're looking for. Excoriate.
Excoriate.
Rip the heart out.
Are you kidding
Excoriate.
me?
How do you say
Means
chauffeur
from the Latin.
hofer?
No.
Yeah, excoriate.
Excoriate.
Oh, I put an extra T in. You're right.
Yeah, you just
No!
mispronounced it. It's all right.
Done.
Listen.
Listen. I'm glad that Ivy League education did something
No,
good for you.
that's from St. Joe's
You at
Prep,
least
man.
have-
That's from St.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, that's from 4 years of Latin at St. Joe's Prep. Riley T7, is my Twitter handle.
And then the biggest loser on the day, Kincaid. Go ahead.
It's like you mix together excoriate and excruciating, and you got excruciate.
Yeah, I was originally gonna go with eviscerate. I don't know why I said it though.
I thought he was trying to put scorch in there somewhere, like
Scorch, yeah. I'm sorry.
Excoriate. Huh?
It's Kevin_Kincaid. We'll have a lot of fun talking about Ben Simmons. Come join us on Twitter.
All right, and a big thank you, as always, to everyone for following along. Remember, at dumbdrafts, dumbdrafts@gmail.com. You can read the Ombudsman report. Anthony Sanfilippo will be writing up his post-game analysis of this episode over on crossingbroad.com. Make sure you go check that out. I'm sure that Kevin might decide to, for the second week in a row, complain about the judging and put out his own review of his own performance that puts on the rose-colored glasses and goes after everybody else. But hey, it's fine. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week with another Dumb Draft.